Okay, so today I want to make a video on um, the basics of sectioning, and I'm using a part that was part of an exercise in Chapter 5, 5.4.1. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do a full section and a half section, and then at the same time we'll be able to see these parts sectioned for that exercise that you're going to do in the book on your own. Which won't have to be turned in. So I'm going to go to View Layout uh, and select Section View. I have some options in the Property Manager to um, select type of cutting line, either horizontal or vertical, or aligned or auxiliary, and aligned. I'm going to select horizontal because that will coincide with the um, section that's in the book. So I'm going to go right to this view, and notice I've got some cutting plane lines and arrows. I'm going to just move my cursor so that it finds the midpoint of that vertical line. And that's where I'm going to place my cut. Now notice it says DD here instead of AA, and that's because I've made some in this already. In order to rectify that, I just go over to the Property Manager, highlight the D in this box right here, and change that to capital A. And now you can see that the section view is a AA section. And I'm going to place my view up here, but in reality it should be down here because that is what the section arrows dictate. When the section arrows point to a certain portion of the part, they're pointing to the part that you're going to keep. And so coinciding with third angle projection, we would have to rotate that view down so that it's underneath the view that we're cutting the section from. But I want my section view up here. So I'm going to just go ahead and place it there, and then I can change the direction of the arrows by clicking this node right here. Or I can go back to the um, Property Manager and just say flip direction, and that will flip the arrows for me. So I place my section view there. I'm probably going to move this guy down a little bit. Give me some room, move that up a little. And there's my section view AA. If I want to add center line to this, I can using the annotation command, center line. And then I'll pick the view and it'll add a center line. So that's a full section. Now I want to do a half section on this view, which again coincides with the instruction in the book. So I'll go back to View Layout, Section View. This time I'm going to select half section from this portion of the Property Manager above. And that gives me 8 options for half sections. And the default is the type of cut that we want on our part. And so again, notice when I bring my cursor into some views, the cut line automatically starts to form. Well, I want to create it on this view right here. So again, I'm going to go toward the center of the part and put my cutting plane line out there. And now my arrows are pointing in the right direction because I want to move my part out here. But again, notice that even though I made this revert back to section AA from the original DD, the new one says EE. So again, I'm going to have to go back here and change that to B. This only happens after you've tried to, you've made some section views and deleted them, or you've had a problem making a section view and you eliminated it. Otherwise, they should be sequential without any issues. So again, I'm going to go ahead and place this over to the left behind the arrows, on the opposite side of where the arrows are pointing. And that's where my section BB will wind up. Notice it automatically added a center line and the section lines. We need that center line because in a half section like this, it separates the portion that's cut away and what we view from the portion that remains, which is this area down here. So what we see here is the outside of this part. That's this section right in here, and then this portion of the shaft uncut. And then in this portion up here, the top half, we see the section that had been cut away in this part. Notice it also put in section lines, but we don't have a material called out, so it used some generic section lines which also apply to cast iron. Now again, you don't have to do this assignment in SolidWorks. You can do it in the book. It's good practice to do by hand. The book virtually outlines everything for you, and it also shows up in the PowerPoint with the solution. So don't skimp, go ahead and practice it by hand, just to help you get an idea of how to view these parts, work a little on your perspective, and we'll see you in the meeting.